I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, today we're reading from the book of Daniel, chapter 6. Let's focus on verses 5 through 7. And then these men said, "We shall not find any charge against this Daniel unless we find it against him concerning the law of his God." So these governors and satraps thronged before the king and said thus to him, "King Darius, live forever. All the governors of the kingdom, the administrators and satraps, the counselors and advisors have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whoever petitions any god or man for 30 days except you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions." Today's chapter is one of the best known Bible stories. What a child, whether Christian or Jewish, what child has not heard the story of Daniel in the lion's den? And just the thought of it makes me crave the goldfish crackers that they fed us back in Bible school. Maybe a little apple juice to rinse it down. But within the story of Daniel's deliverance are other important narratives. I chose today's passage because I wanted to highlight the method that Daniel's enemies used to trap him. You see, Daniel was a man of such high, upright character, and who sought to please the Lord to the extent that he was blameless according to both the Torah of God and the laws of the Medes and Persians. So the only way that Daniel could be brought down, he was so righteous, was to make worshiping God a crime. And I love Daniel's response to the king's decree. Daniel chapter 6, verses 10 and 11. "And now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went home, and in his upper room, with his windows open toward Jerusalem, he knelt down on his knees 3 times that day, and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as was his custom since early days. And then these men assembled, and they found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God." Now, I would like to believe Daniel remembered Solomon's prayer at the dedication of the Lord's temple, and that he was faithfully praying, following Solomon's words. Look at what Solomon said, 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 29. "May your eyes be open toward this temple night and day, this place of which you said, 'My name shall be there,' so that you will hear the prayer your servant prays toward this place." You know, years ago, I wrote a song for my band, Big Tent Revival, and it was titled, "If Loving God Was a Crime," and the song was based on today's chapter. And it posed the question, if loving God were against the law, would there be enough evidence to convict you? And at the time, it seemed a bit far-fetched and futuristic when I wrote it. A lot of people in the record company thought it was crazy. But these days, I wonder, how much longer will it be before the song's message becomes less of a personal challenge and more of a rebel anthem? It is becoming increasingly difficult to follow God and to remain an upright, politically correct American citizen. And if you don't believe me, well, then try publicly articulating God's word concerning issues like abortion or homosexuality, gay marriage, or creation even. And do I even have to mention what believers in places like China or the Muslim nations must endure if they just walk according to the Bible? Daniel's example is a challenge for us all. We must choose rightly between the worldly, culturally approved, wide path or the righteous, narrow path of the Lord. And it is not always easy, but we should live to honor the God who never leaves or forsakes us. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you. And yes, we need your monthly support. Donating is secure and easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. You know, another way to help is to tell people about Groundworks Ministries. You can share these podcasts with friends and family and on your social media. And of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.